It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 248. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and no question about it, my friends. Hang around with us long enough, I promise. We're going to make a happy camper out of you. Hello, Daniel.
Hi.
You got your Bucky shirt on today.
I do. Love Bucky's.
Oh, wow. And you got a jacket on top of it. I'm not wearing a jacket, as you can see.
What are you going to do?
You know, we got a lot of lights on here in the studio, so I don't want to hear no complaints about you being too hot.
I'll be okay.
Okay. Daniel, on the show today, we have some very special guests from Putnam, Connecticut, Jody and Heidi Bates. They are Grand Design owners. For the very first time on Happy Camper Radio, we are welcoming members of the Grand Design family. And I know they are very excited about talking with us. Let's get them on the program here very shortly. And the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. You can find us in the iTunes Store, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, and now on Odyssey, Samsung, and Player FM. A lot of choices out there.
Oh, yeah.
All the major podcast directories, we're in there.
Yep.
Yeah. So anywhere you go, whether it be at home, at the office, at the campground, take Happy Camper Radio along with you. You can find us on the web. We're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. And if you want to see Daniel and I in the studio as we do the show, you can now subscribe to our YouTube channel. Look for that little box down there with the pup tent inside of it. Just click on that and you will be subscribers to the program.
All right.
Well, Daniel, this past week, I sat out here on my other computer, which is a much bigger computer than the ones I'm using here in the studio. Yeah, you complained about how much money I spent on that, I remember. But anyway, all these GoPro cameras that I have been using at the campground, anytime that I have visited a campground this past year, I drove around with that GoPro camera, and I took videos of all the campsites. Because, you know, when you visit a campground and you like that campground and you say to yourself, I'm going to be back next year, you may not want that particular site that you booked. You want to find something better. And that's exactly what I did. You know, I'm crazy about Lake Lanier.
You are. You love Lake Lanier.
It's about an hour drive. It's not like Stone Mountain Park, which is right next door to us.
You did that a lot, too.
That's the truth. But anyway, I went ahead and I started looking through some of those videos that I took. And I'm saying to myself, this is one campground that I'm going to go back to. Yes, Site 67.
Yes,
that's
67.
The one. That's the one I'm going to book whenever the season opens up, and that's going to be in mid-March. So, you know, the Army Corps sites, you know, being the fact that I'm now a senior, and I'm proud to say that.
Seasoned citizen.
And I've got that senior citizen access pass.
I know. I'm jealous of that.
Well, you're going to get there.
I hope so.
You know, I can't wait to see you get up there in your ages.
Yeah, I love that. I'm already feeling it now.
Hey, you start living life when you retire.
I know. I'm seeing it right now through your eyes.
Yeah, well, Daniel, I am really looking so forward to actually getting out there and seeing you retired one of these days.
14 years.
Okay. 14 years and counting.
Not counting.
Okay. Well, you know, keep on counting, Daniel, because you know, there was a time when I was your age, and I knew eventually I'm going to have to go ahead and call it quits, and that's exactly what I did here a couple years back. But I'm living life right now and enjoying it very much, and I've got my Grand Design RV and this past year, and I am out there really, really enjoying it. Well, anyway, talk about Grand Design, Daniel. We have on the show today some very special guests from Putnam, Connecticut. Let's welcome Jody and Heidi Bates on the show. Let's get them on the program right now. Happy Camper Radio. We are so delighted to have members of the Grand Design family on the program for the very first time. Jody and Heidi Bates, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
We are so delighted to have you on the program today, and I know we have so much to talk about. So, Jody and Heidi, you have been camping for quite some time now. When did you first purchase your Grand Design RV?
So we got it in 2018. It was the model is a 2019 just by chance, we're selling ours. And, this is actually Heidi's story.
We were already in a brand new camper when we bought this one, believe it or not. But we had a brand new camper for about 5 months, and we really weren't liking it, and stopped at a dealership while we were visiting friends in New Hampshire and stumbled upon Grand Design, and the rest is history. We signed on the dotted line that day.
Now, what did you have prior to buying a Grand Design?
We had a Forest River.
Okay. Is that a pop-up camper?
Nope. It's also a travel trailer. It's the exact same floor plan we have, but it had like the aluminum siding outside. It was a little bit different.
That kind of reminds me back in the day. I started as a primitive camper. Then I went and bought a truck. I bought a truck camper that had an aluminum siding on it, and over time it didn't last. And then I decided I was going to go back to primitive camping. And here I am in my own Grand Design, my Transcend Xplor 2022, which I bought just this past summer. Now, Daniel, on the other hand, he's a pop-up camper guy.
Yeah, I do tents too when I go hiking. So yeah, I haven't made the switch. I mean, if y'all have ever listened to the show before, I grew up and my parents had a trailer up in the mountains, up in the North Georgia mountains, and we camped there, and we've upgraded a little bit there, but. I mean, I'm aware of the RV life. I mean, we've gone to the RV show. We're planning on going again this year, and I can't wait to see what new stuff they got out there, see if there's any Grand Designs. Heck, Skip might upgrade at this show. Who knows? He surprised me so much. So I don't know if y'all know the story. Like, he had the worst time when we were down at FDR, and he was just defeated. And, I was all bummed.
Rain, right?
Yeah, and I was all bummed out about him. And then, that happened and everything. And about a week later, this guy comes up the road with his brand new Grand Design trailer. I've never seen this man more happy in my life. So they're doing something right over there.
Well, we did down here in Georgia, and I'm not sure what it's like up in Connecticut, but down here the weather is so unpredictable. When we showed up at the state park, FDR State Park, I got there several hours in front of Daniel and Deidre, and I went ahead and set up. It took me about 3 hours to get my tent set up and camp set up because temperatures were approaching at least 100 degrees, and I really couldn't stand much of it. And of course, my poor dog Sadie, I had to keep her in the truck with the air conditioner running. But eventually, when I got the camp set up, I went ahead and drove around to the site that Daniel and Deidre had reserved. Now, keep in mind, they had not left yet the Atlanta area to come down there, but I wanted to go ahead and take a picture of their campsite that they reserved so they could see what they were getting into when they arrived. As I was driving around looking for that site, I spotted a Grand Design Transcend Xplor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And wow, I'm saying, I would just love to have one of these days, not knowing that a week later I'd be driving off the lot with it connected up to the back of my truck. So yeah, that was kind of a crazy story. Yeah, but for some reason, I saw the Grand Design models out there before without ever taking a look at what the inside was like. But I was really fascinated with the looks and the design of that particular RV. And I'm saying to myself, if I ever decide to buy an RV, this is the way I'm going to go. And wow, how things change. I really never suspected that that trip down to FDR State Park would be the reason I went out and bought an RV.
Do y'all have a story like that?
Know.
Do y'all have a story like that where you're like, all right, it's time to upgrade from pop-up to RV? What made y'all pull the trigger on that one?
4 kids and a dog.
Well, when I was a kid, we had, it was 2 kids. Yeah, I get that.
Now, Jody and Heidi, you have an Imagine 2970 RL. I imagine this is probably going to last you a good long time, isn't it?
We hope so.
Yeah, better.
At least another 4 or 5 years, I think.
And y'all bought it at a really good time.
We take good care of it. Heidi does. She's up on the roof when we get home after every trip, just checking seals and before we go. But we want to have this for a long time and do this for a long time. So it's better than buying a whole new one, which we will eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to upgrade myself somewhere down the line. Okay, but yeah, I imagine, like I say, your RV, it does not sit idle very long. If you're like myself, yeah, you're out and about as often as you possibly can. Now, here's something interesting that you shared with me. All right, you have now christened your RV with the Bates Motel theme.
Yes,
we have. Yes.
Yeah.
There
was a company called BGS out of Indiana, and they kind of, we started following them because they also wrapped another Grand Design influencer that's out there, and we kind of fell in love with that wrap. So we got in touch with them, made some plans. We were out in Indiana this year for the national rally, and we made it happen. But last year we only got the back and the front cap wrapped. And
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. This year, also at national again, we're gonna be getting things completely redone.
Wow, yeah, you shared the pictures with us, and yeah, I am just so thrilled for you all. Now, while you were at the National Rally last year, you got to meet the owner of Grand Design, didn't you?
Yes, and his son and his brother, and they signed our camper. It was a pretty amazing visit up there. So, Don Clark is a pretty amazing stand-up guy, and it sealed the deal for us to be Grand Design owners forever, I think. So,
what convinced you of that? I'm just curious.
So I think, we really like the camper.
Yeah.
Just hands down, without going to any of these rallies. But there's rallies all across the country, from East Coast to West Coast. There's probably, I don't even know what they have, 20 some odd rallies, maybe even more.
I think there's more now.
Those are kind of regional, but when you go to national, everybody fights for that ticket to get in. It's almost like the Willy Wonka ticket. If you get it, because the people that are there, they bring in like just over 600 Grand Design rigs,
wow,
campers, and so there's like 12 to 1,500 people there. But for the owner of Grand Design to come out
for the week,
say chat with you, he's really, he talks to you like we're talking to each other. He's got great stories. He's a really good guy. But to see him there and talk to all of us, like ask us questions on what could be better about campers or
dealers
or service.
He really wants to know.
He really wants to progress his company for his customers.
And wow. that speaks volumes right there.
That's amazing.
That really does.
That's incredible.
I would love to get to the national rally someday. I can tell you this much, as a Grand Design owner, or a new Grand Design owner, I have already put in to attend the rally down in Florida and the one here in Brunswick, Georgia. And I've come to find out, that you better get on it real quick if you want to attend those rallies. Yeah, because I reached out to the one in Brunswick yesterday, and they had on their website that the availabilities would open up in January, and I went ahead and got in touch with the campground. Come to find out, they are full, and there's like 38 people in front of you on a waiting list.
Wow!
So, those rallies. Go ahead,
Skip. If you do want to go to one of those rallies, get yourself on that wait list, because it goes pretty quick, because everybody is all excited about that initial ticket release, but then plans change because it's they're almost a year out, depending on when they open up registration. But plans change throughout the year, and people back off. And 38 people, I would put a guess in to say that majority of that wait list would be into the rally, get tickets to the rally.
Yeah, and I am on the wait list. So, if I do finally get that phone call or that email and they say, hey, do you want to come on down? Here I am. Yeah. That's the nice thing about being retired. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're ever up this way, we run the New England rally, Jody and I do. And that started in 2022. So our rally sold out in 7 minutes.
Oh my heavens! How many RV owners, or should I say, Grand Design owners, showed up at your first rally?
So this past year, I think we only had 80 sites, and I think we ended up with about 75 rigs. Next year we have we were supposed to have 100 this year. I keep forgetting. This year we have 100 sites, but now we've upped it to 115 because of the demand. So, but like I said, that sold out so fast, and they crashed the phone system.
Oh my heavens!
What's the best time to go up there? I've never been up to the Northeast really. When's the best time to go up there?
Yeah, it depends on the kind of weather you like.
Yeah.
So, spring is nice. Day, rain and sun. June, July, August, it can be hot. So if you like the hot weather, that's always nice. I prefer the summer up here. Jody prefers the fall, which, it's a little cooler. The leaves are falling.
Jody and I would get along very well.
Yeah, I'm sure we would. Yeah.
So, I think anytime between like June and October.
Okay.
October can get a little chilly, but usually it's pretty nice. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you have 3 beautiful dogs. They go camping with you every time you go out?
Yes, absolutely. We never leave without them.
And I am the same way with my Labrador Retriever, Sadie. Now, she's not always excited about seeing Daniel. I don't know, for whatever reason.
She gets over it after a while.
But, yeah, Sadie goes with me everywhere I go. And I'm sure your dogs are very excited about going camping every time you hook up and say, let's go.
Yeah, so the dogs can see the camper and the truck. They can see out into the driveway. And when I get into the truck and back up to the camper and start,
they lose their mind.
Pitching up, you can't get in or out of the house because they get their noses pressed up against the door, waiting to get into the truck to go.
I can tell you,
can't say camping in a house.
I can tell you this much: my Transcend Xplor is sitting right outside, or just alongside the driveway. And, of course, it's winterized right now, and I'm sure you got much more brutal winters up there than we have down here. But every time that I step inside the RV and Sadie is inside the house looking out the storm door and she sees me go in there, she goes crazy. She goes absolutely nuts. You're not leaving without me. So, yeah. And I tell you, I love taking her camping. And, she's an older girl right now and haven't had an opportunity to take her out very much in her younger years. But she does love sitting by the lake and, just taking the long walks and meeting folks. So, yeah, taking your pets along with you, it's a highlight to your trip. It is for me anyway. Yeah.
Well, it's a plus. It's an added bonus to having an RV. So.
Okay. And you take your kids along with you also. So you got a full house, correct?
Well, our kids are all grown now. So It's just Jody and I and the dogs. So, yeah, the kids are all grown and out of the house. So that's why we upgraded to a real fancy trailer.
Okay. Now, do your kids RV?
No. They're doing their life things. They're growing.
Traveling by car across country and all that stuff.
Yeah, all I guess all 3 of the 4 kids have been to California, and the farthest we've been is Indiana. Yeah,
but there's some talks about, as they get older, they may want to potentially get into the RV world, and I think that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I tell you, you keep doing what you're doing, and I promise you, as time goes on, they probably will, get in their own Grand Design. Camping is just absolutely wonderful. It has really opened up a whole new world for me since I started, the RV life. And Daniel and I, even when we're out of the studio, we talk it up all the time. It's just something that's, about camping that, it's if everybody in this world were RVers and campers, I think it would be a much better world we'd be living in. I really, truly believe
agree.
that. Yeah.
So I got a question. Y'all are pretty experienced RVers. What would be the top 3 things you would want to tell a new potential RV buyer, like someone like me who eventually wants to get an RV? What would you say? You want to look out for this. We didn't think about this. Like tips and tricks. What would you say your top 3 would be?
Well, I would say
The camper first.
the one thing is to do a lot of research.
Okay.
Don't just jump into, jump into a camper because it was your first one that you walked into and you really liked it.
Pick the camper first, and then pick your truck next.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you can do that.
Because I'm always worried about that because all I have is a Ranger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So there are campers out there that you can find to tow with that truck. But I think that's a big thing that's out there, and you get called the tow police. That gets thrown around. But until we really dove into finding those weights, because you go into it for the first time and you're like, oh yeah, I got this truck, I can do this camper, it's no problem, I'm gonna hook it up. But if you go, you really got to be focused on those numbers, I guess. Not saying that you have to go out and buy a 1-ton dually diesel, the biggest one out there. But I think it's knowing your equipment, I guess I would say.
Because we went through 3 trucks in a year and a half.
Oh my
Because we did it wrong. So
we did it
learn from our mistakes. That's another thing. Learn from someone else's mistakes.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm trying to learn here.
It didn't work, learn by them. And I guess the biggest thing I would say to anybody is just go out and enjoy yourself. Meet new people. Embrace the lifestyle. Don't just go and sit inside your camper and watch TV. You can do that at home.
That's true.
Go out and meet people. Don't be afraid to run up to somebody that maybe has the same camper as you and say, hey,
Yeah, because they'll talk for hours.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be walking down the street, right, and say, oh, look at that. That guy's got a cape. He's got a cape. I got a cape too. I'm going to go and ask him if I can see his living room. You don't do that in the real world.
It's funny you say that because when me and my wife Deidre went out to Myrtle Beach a while ago, we had our pop-up or whatever, and we were just driving around the campground, and there was like a 77 Nomad, which was the first RV my parents bought when I was a kid, and we that's where we camped, and I was like, oh my God, I need to see what that thing looks like, because there was a little shelf in the top that I stayed in as a little kid, and it brought back so many memories. And it was so I got so excited. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like what Heidi says here, I stand behind that 100%. You can watch TV at home. If you've got a nice day and it's a great day to be out camping, that's where you need to be. Even if it means just sitting outside your RV under the canopy and enjoying a hot cup of coffee, early in the morning, do that. I really believe the TV set is going to be restricted only in days, where it is raining and there's no way you can be outside, or maybe if you're having trouble falling asleep at night and you want to watch a movie. Yeah, that's what be the only time that I would have the TV on.
Well, I'm a goer, so I got no problem with that.
Yeah, you go to a campground with Daniel, and the first thing I'm asking, where is Daniel?
Oh yeah, I love getting out there.
Yeah. Well, Heidi and Jody, I am so delighted that you were able to join us here on the program today, and I'm really hoping that maybe one of these days we'll meet up at a campground. It's you sound like you're really excited about this. Yeah, and I am really excited to meet some Grand Design owners, and like I say, I will be on those waiting lists just in the event that there's an opportunity to get out there, and hopefully I'll make it to the national rally one of these days too. I'm very proud to be a Grand Design owner, and I'm really happy that you're Grand Design owners too. Jody and Heidi, thank you so much for being on the program today. Glad to have you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
All right. Daniel.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I am just so delighted that they were able to join us here on the program. Yeah, wow.
Man.
You think about this. You're in a pop-up camper right now. And like Heidi was saying, think about your camper first and then your truck later, because depending upon what you want to buy, you may need that truck to haul it. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So, who knows? One of these days we're actually going to get together, my RV, your RV, and I know we're going to make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
So, Daniel, it's time now for our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
And Daniel, speaking of New England, let's go up there right now where it's a little bit on the chilly side, okay? But, weather does get a whole lot nicer when you're out there. We are going to go to the Normandy Farms Campground. It is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Nestled deep in the woods between Boston and Cape Cod, Normandy Farms is a luxury camping destination that has been in a family tradition since 1971. Wow. And it's widely recognized as one of the premier resorts in the world. You can relax and enjoy the unique seasons of New England in your RV, tent, or in one of their luxury deluxe cabins or yurt rentals. They also have pop-up trailers, safari tents, and those seeking an elevated camping experience. Either way, your family is sure to have a truly memorable vacation anytime that you visit the Normandy Farms Campground. Check out the information. We're going to have a link to it all week long on happycamperradio.com. You can visit it there and just check it out. If it's one of those campgrounds, if you ever happen to get up there to New England, and I plan on visiting up there one of these days. You remember, I'm from up north.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt me to travel just a little bit further. In fact, my wife was from Rhode Island.
Oh.
So, that's just a hop, skip, and jump away.
Yeah.
But, think about that. If you ever want to go camping up in New England, here's a great camping destination for you. It's the Normandy Farms Campground. And it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel.
And if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or the guy here with the Bucky t-shirt,
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And be sure to include a link to the campground website. Well, Daniel, that's going to wrap up today's edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show. Love talking to Heidi and Jody.
Oh,
and I'll tell you what, we're going to go out here and do some camping again real soon. I'm more pumped up about it now than I think I was last week.
Jumping around.
Yeah, and I think Sadie's about ready to go, too. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us on the web. We're there 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. And be sure to check out our YouTube channel where you can see Daniel and I in action. Yeah. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel is always a happy camper.
Hey!
And we're going to make a happy camper out of you. Talk to you again real soon. Thanks for joining us. This is Happy Camper Radio.
Happy Camper Radio.